Welcome back to Car Wow 787, where we dive deep into the machines that move the world. If you're into diesel power, semi-trucks, and the heart-pounding sound of a real workhorse engine, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the iron giants of the road. Today, we're getting into a legendary name in the diesel engine world, the Caterpillar 3406E. Whether you're a long-time trucker or someone just learning the ropes of heavy-duty power plants, this engine has probably crossed your path in some way. Known for its durability, simplicity, and raw pulling power, the Cat 3406E has earned a cult-like following among owner-operators and diesel enthusiasts. But why is this engine so loved, even decades after it rolled off the production line? Let's take a close look. First off, a bit of background. The Caterpillar 3406E was introduced in the mid-1990s, marking a major turning point in diesel engine technology. This was the era when electronic fuel systems were taking over, and KAT adapted the legendary mechanical 3406 platform into something new with the E-Series. The E stands for electronic, and it brought with it a more precise fuel management system, better diagnostics, and more consistent performance. Now, to be clear, there are multiple variants of the 3406 engine, A, B, C, and the E. But the E model is by far the most recognized in the world of trucking, especially in the North American long-haul scene. It was a favorite because it struck that balance between old-school mechanical reliability and new-school electronic control. Unlike some of the later emissions-heavy engines, the 3406E stayed relatively simple, and that made it easier to work on and more reliable in the field. The engine is a 14.6-liter inline-six, turbocharged, and capable of producing anywhere from 355 to over 600 horsepower, depending on the specific configuration and tuning. Torque numbers are equally impressive, with some setups delivering more than 2,000 pound-feet. For hauling freight across mountains or coast to coast, that kind of torque means less downshifting, more pulling power, and overall a smoother experience for the driver. One of the reasons truckers love this engine is because of its dependability. These engines were built with heavy-duty internal components, robust cylinder liners, a forged crankshaft, and rock-solid heads. They could handle abuse and still keep going. It's not unusual to hear about 3406Es going over 1 million miles with proper maintenance. Some even call it the last great American diesel engine, before emissions regulations started changing everything. Speaking of emissions, the 3406E was one of the last pre-emissions engines to roll out before the Environmental Protection Agency cracked down hard on diesel pollutants. That means fewer filters, fewer sensors, and fewer electronic components to fail. And for those in the know, less emissions equipment often means better fuel economy and easier troubleshooting. Now let's talk about maintenance. One of the big selling points of the 3406E is its serviceability. Mechanics love this engine because everything is accessible. Whether it's changing injectors, working on the turbo, or dealing with the fuel system, most of the components are relatively easy to get to compared to today's modern engines, where you need a laptop and dealer software just to read a fault code. The injectors on the 3406E are electronically controlled but mechanically actuated. That means they combine the precision of electronic timing with the brute force of mechanical movement. It's a setup that works well in harsh environments and doesn't fail easily. Plus, the electronic control module, or ECM, used on the 3406E is considered one of the most tunable systems Caterpillar ever made. There are entire communities built around tuning these engines for more power, better efficiency, or specific applications like heavy haul or high-altitude operation. Another thing drivers notice right away is the sound. The 3406E has a deep, throaty rumble that screams raw diesel power. It's the kind of sound that puts a smile on your face. whether you're Jake braking down a mountain pass or pulling hard through the gears on a steep grade. That signature cat growl is something you just don't hear from newer engines with all their mufflers and emission traps.